Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for what I think is going to be the first of two videos uploaded to GBFC today. In this Chelsea news video, we're going to be talking Bastoni, Skriniar, Lukaku, and how this one just looks as though there's no way we're ever going to see Lukaku play for Chelsea again. We're also going to talk about Wesley Fofana. Leicester City have whacked a giant price tag on the geezer. And then we're also going to talk about Dembele and how Barcelona have basically just closed the book on this one because they believe there is a deal agreed with Chelsea Football Club. So we're going to go into that in a bit more detail, give my thoughts. Before we do, please subscribe to GBFC. We're getting close to 225,000 subscribers, which is not quite 250,000, which I reckon I'll have a beer or seven when we hit 250,000, but in order to get to 250,000, we've got to get to 225. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do so. And if we can get 2,000 likes on this news video, then well, you'll make me a delighted individual. But I've been talking about begging you for things for the last 25 seconds. So let's start with Ousmane Dembele. Barcelona are reportedly done with this one. They have given up on signing Ousmane Dembele. When we look at all of the free agents, when we think about Chelsea's issues this summer, the issues are not just about replacing defenders. We've spoken about this a lot, but a lot of Chelsea's issues are that Thomas Tuchel has got a very talented squad, but Tuchel's got a very regimented tactical approach as to how he wants Chelsea to play. When you look at all of the wingers, all of the attackers at the club, other than Mason Mount, there isn't really anybody where there isn't a couple of question marks. I had a pen there. I'm drawing it on the screen, but you guys can't see anything. There's a lot of question marks about all of these players. And as we have said many times already in the early stages of this summer transfer window, the key thing in Todd Boehly's first summer in charge at Chelsea is to make sure that Thomas Tuchel gets signings that are players that he genuinely wants. In the video later on today, we're going to talk about 3 more attackers that Chelsea are heavily being linked with right now. But Ousmane Dembele, yes, it's a free transfer. But anybody who knows anything about football knows that when you got 25-year-olds who've been at Barcelona, they've had interest from Paris Saint-Germain, other big clubs in Europe too, Dembele's going to be on massive wages. Chelsea, at the moment, are looking at Romelu Lukaku as one of the highest paid players in the squad. With Inter Milan being interested, Inter don't have the money to buy him back, which means that any deal that sees Lukaku go to Inter is still going to see Chelsea paying, not sure about the majority, but a percentage of his wages, which means that with every free signing and with every signing that we go out and spend money on, Chelsea have also got to be careful that when we're putting in investments into players, that even if they're free, and this is the devil's advocate of the Dembele signing and the injury record, let's also not forget that, but the fact that he's going to be on massive wages could well be a bit of an issue, because what that does is it puts a lot of other wingers who might stay at the club on alert, where it's like, well, if this geezer can come in and get 250 bags, then why am I on 100? And if I'm going to be used in the same kind of vein and in the same kind of way and frequency within the squad, then surely I should be getting a rise too. So what this could do is cause a little bit of upset in the dressing room about wages, demands, what players want, what players get, what players are worth. And I think with Dembele, to keep it about the footballer instead of just the monetary value that Chelsea would inevitably have to spend on the guy, I think Dembele is a wonderful footballer. I remember being in the Nou Camp, I've said this before, where we lost to Barcelona. There was really no chance that we were going to win that game from the very early stages. They dominated us. Messi, majestic. Dembele, for Chelsea, disastrously brilliant. Dembele's got that ability. And having played under Tuchel, I just think that if Chelsea are close to getting this deal done, yes, there could be potential issues with it. But I really think that if any manager in the world is going to get Dembele playing well, yes, we've had issues with injuries with players for a few years. Dembele injury prone. We're going to have to manage him like, I don't know, when you're spraying your strawberries because you want them to grow, but they're not growing. You got to keep an eye on them. You got to take tentative care. I don't know how I've gone into talking about spraying strawberries and doing gun signs. I don't know how I've got to this point, so we're going to move on and discuss a little bit about the potential swap deals that Chelsea could benefit from with Romelu Lukaku going to Inter Milan. We've spoken about Lukaku many times. The more I read, the more I see that Romelu Lukaku is doing everything in his power to make a move. He's willing to take a wage cut to go back to Inter Milan. This guy does not want to play for Chelsea anymore. So even though there are many counter arguments that he was still the club's top scorer, he had bursts of spells of good play or good goal scoring at times this season. Listen to me here, Chelsea fans. If a man doesn't want to be at Chelsea Football Club and he's only been here a year and he did an interview after 2 months saying he don't want to be here, why do you want him at the club? Chelsea have had issues with strikers for years. We have been waiting to replace Drogba. We found Costa. We've been waiting to replace Diego Costa. Lukaku was supposed to be that guy. He doesn't even want to be that guy, let alone actually being that guy. So at this point in time, Chelsea need to try and work out the best deal to get Lukaku back to the pizza and pasta and wine in Italy, and then we can bring some of that exotic Mediterranean food, such as Bastoni or Skriniar, to West London. And I think that both Bastoni and Skriniar are brilliant options. And when we look at the quality that we've lost in Rudiger, in Christensen, potentially Aspi, Thiago Silva, sadly, it's not going to last forever. Chelsea need to fix the defenders. We can talk Dembele's, we can talk Sterling's, we can talk Gabriel Jesus, all we want. But the priority is that if Chelsea don't fix the Rudiger exit, the Christensen exit come the start of next season, no matter what the attack looks like, no matter what the midfield looks like, no matter who's coming back, yeah, we've got Levi Colwill's come back, and I do believe this guy is going to be the next big defender in the Premier League. I honestly do. But we need to replace Rudiger's leadership. We need to bring in quality. Bastoni, younger, brilliant centre-half. Skriniar, in the prime years of his career, also top draw. So despite who gets the better deal, who gets the better value out of anything that involves Lukaku going back to Inter Milan, I just want to see Lukaku go. If he really doesn't want to be here, he's never going to give 110%. Yes, he's got a big contract. Yes, supposedly a big personality, but the management of that personality, the management of that craving to be somewhere he's not because he's not quite getting it his way, for me, I've given up on him. I really have. And with Bastoni being linked to come the other way, Skriniar being linked the other way, Chelsea have got to look at cutting their losses on this Lukaku deal. It hasn't worked. It's not going to work. If we can get one of those two as a return, then I think Chelsea have done relatively good business, considering the severity of how desperate he is to go. We move into the final story of today's first video. Wesley Fofana, a decent footballer, very good footballer, Leicester City, are asking for 50 million quid. Now, Jules Koundé, we've heard about this one a billion times. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but we're seeing Todd Boehly finds an emergency replacement. Don't buy too much into any reporting right now that states emergencies for Chelsea Football Club, because it is June the 9th. The Premier League fixtures have not even been released at the time of me recording this video yet. We don't even know who we're going to bloody play on the first day of the season. So emergency, don't buy into any of this. Yeah, I might put some crazy words in a YouTube title or thumbnail once in a while because I want you guys to watch my videos. I'm going to say it straight up, but there's no emergency at this point. You know, we lost Koundé at the end of the transfer window last season. It's still early doors. I still think this man's going to sign, whether it's the first signing or the second or third of the Boehly first summer, I don't know. But Wesley Fofana for 50 million is another gamble because he's already a top defender playing in the Premier League, has the experience, and because he's young, he's one of those kind of players where you look at Levi Colwill coming back, you just wonder if with Thiago Silva being around, with Aspi supposedly staying, Trevor Chalobah, a prime example of a young player being given an opportunity and thriving under Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea. Wesley Fofana at 50 mil, I don't think it necessarily would be a gamble, but I do think it is a little bit steep at this moment in time. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys disagree. Please let me know in the comments down below. And of all of those three defenders that we've spoken about here, Bastoni, Skriniar, Wesley Fofana, of all of those three, if you had to pick one to come to Chelsea this summer, assuming that Koundé is going to sign, let me know which one it would be in the comments down below. Dembele, I do think it's just a matter of time. I don't think there's going to be anybody close to Chelsea in this race for him now. I imagine by the end of this week, beginning of next week, we will know if Dembele is a Chelsea player or not. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new. I'll see you guys later for another news video. Come on, you Blues.